It's a great honor for me today to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Vidyashankar, IAS and Principal Secretary to the Government, Departments of Industry and Commerce. Mr. Vidyashankar has a MA degree in Economics and an MPhil from Delhi School of Economics, and he pursued his MBA from Harvard University in the United States of America. He joined the Indian Administrative Services in 1982 and served in different departments in the state government, including Rural Department, Revenue, Animal Husbandry, Panchayat Raj, Agriculture and Energy. He also served in the Ministry of Personnel and Public Grievances for the Government of India. He had been the Chairman BWSSB, Commissioner BDA and Secretary to the Government's Health and Family Welfare Department. Mr. Vidyashankar's area of interest include downsizing, re-engineering, e-governance, business process outsourcing, customer relations and enterprise resource planning. Currently, Mr. Vidyashankar is the Principal Secretary to the Government Departments of Information Technology, Biotechnology and Science and Technology, including e-governance. It's a great honor to have you on this task, sir. And I now request Ms. Jyotsna to welcome our guest with a bouquet.
Our next speaker is Mrs. Purnima. She's an economic graduate from Mount Carmel College, Bangalore, and holds an MBA from TAPMI, Manipal. She has undergone management development programs at the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor, USA, and at Radford University in the UK. Mrs. Purnima Shenoy is the founder and CEO of Latitude EdTech Consulting Private Limited. She founded it in 2011 and has over 2 decades of experience as an entrepreneur and industry executive. Earlier, she had been the founding president of ISA and was the member of its executive council for over 6 years. She has been actively involved in creating a brand for India in electronics and semiconductors on a global arena. She has been a successful entrepreneur and has seen her company's acquisition by an international venture fund. Purnima had worked with NASCOM and the Manipal Group in a senior management capacity prior to ISA. Purnima has been a part of governmental committees and is an invited speaker at both national and international seminars. She believes that education and, more importantly, skill development of the workforce can play an important role in driving the company's growth. Purnima has been awarded the prestigious Shivling Scholarship for Women in Leadership and Management by the British Foreign and Commonwealth Office. She has been the co-founder of the Group Women in Business Technology, which later merged with eMerge. She is associated with Shankara Eye Hospital and the Hope Foundation in her personal capacity. We welcome you, ma'am.
As the proceedings, sir, so I would request you to, if you can share your valuable thoughts and insights with all of us, and we'll have the pleasure of listening to you. Can I have a big round of applause?
Very good afternoon to each one of you. So, it's been an honor being a part of this afternoon in the midst of this August gathering. I thought maybe Purnima will speak first before I speak, but then she said she would take the second part of the session. I normally don't believe in a monologue. I have a PowerPoint which I don't want to show you. I'm sure you're thoroughly bored of PowerPoints, so I'm not going to show you a PowerPoint. Now, see, e-governance is a huge thing, and if there is an area in which you think you're more keen on, I would like to focus on that. Alternatively, what I was thinking was, I'll give you one success story. I'll give you one experiment which, by any yardstick, cannot fail, but it failed. What's the time like? How much time? Because, you know, as I said, I don't want to be a monologue. Huh? In Purnima?
Purnima after a break.
Okay. Okay. So, will it be okay if I make it half an hour and then open it up for Q&A? That's fine?
Sure.
Okay. And please stop me, you don't have to look at the clock and then say start questions at 3:30. Stop me whenever you want, any number of times that you want. See, when we talk of e-governance, in my perception, we are not talking of computers, we are talking of citizens. We are talking of governance. We are talking of issues related to improving, very specifically, how do we improve the status of the person standing last in the queue? When I say person standing last in the queue, see, you and I have very deep pockets to ensure that we have a cell phone. We have all the moral amenities that are required to ensure that the life is comfortable. But the last person in the queue is the person that we need to cater to. So that's basically the gamut of e-governance that we cover. Karnataka has close to about 36 applications in e-governance. We have been front runners in the country. Most of the applications, they were started in Karnataka first and then replicated elsewhere. Starting from Bhumi, if you have all heard of Bhumi, the first digitized process-driven land records in India were the one that started in Karnataka, and then of course after that you had a slew of other measures in e-governance, and every year Government of India ranks the states who is number 1, who is number 2, who is number 3 in e-governance, and 99 out of 100 times Karnataka has occupied the first position. So I'll just give you one success story and a story which, as I said, which did not go so well. Which one would you like to hear first? The one that failed or one that succeeded? Okay, I'll start with the success. As I said, 36 plus initiatives, but I'll take the one which is the most recent one. Which sector, according to you, reading the newspapers on a daily basis, involves maximum corruption? When I say corruption, I'm not talking of corruption in terms of exchange of a consideration. I'm talking of corruption. It could be corruption in its widest spectrum. You and I know, we go to an office, somebody demands something, because for the work to be done, you want to be a part of a particular initiative of the government. Again, you need to shell out something which is, again, not within the four walls of the requirement. Okay, let me tell you, it's the procurement. Government is the largest procurer all over the world, including India, largest procurer of works, goods and services. According to the recent World Bank report, between 2000 and 2010, that is the first decade of the present century, the total amount spent on e-governance is close to about $2.9 trillion, $2.9 trillion. Now, if you ask in these 197 countries plus, what has been the success rate of e-governance, you will not believe it. According to this report, 70% of the projects have failed. Failed means they have failed to such an extent that none of the objectives have been achieved. They have not even been a partial success. It's just about 18% of projects which have met some of the objectives, and the remaining 20 plus percentage of projects have met with the kinds of objectives they were supposed to achieve when the project began. So that has been the track record of e-governance all over the world. So that's why I said, it's a mixed bag of both success and failure. And one of the projects which has won the maximum number of awards, nationally, statewide, internationally, is what I'm going to tell you. And that project deals with procurement of works, goods and services. Now, I'm sure all of you know that tenders are floated by the states to procure works, goods and services. I want to construct this road, I want to purchase stationery, I want to purchase provisions to meet the requirements of the women and child development, of Anganwadis and so on and so forth. So the government is a very large procurer of goods and services. Now, when the government floats a tender, everybody should have an equal opportunity of supplying, being a part of the tender process, which normally does not happen, but supposed to be such that everyone has an equal opportunity. Now, knowing fully well that a lot of humbug happens under the table, we came out with a model on e-procurement. Normally there are two terminologies which are synonymously used, but there's a lot of difference. One is called e-tendering. What you do is, instead of floating an advertisement in the newspaper, you put it on the website saying that I want to buy 120 cars for my department, or 125 tons of rice, or 125 XYZ for different departments, and I put it on the newspaper. Instead of putting it on the newspaper, I publish it in the website. So that's called e-tendering. As if mere e-tendering is going to ensure the kind of transparency and integrity that all of us are looking for. There's a lot of difference between procurement and tendering. Tendering is only one of the components of procurement. So when I say e-procurement, it is much more than e-tendering. So I published the tender electronically, saying that I just put a one-line statement in the newspaper. Government of Karnataka or the district administration in Udupi or Manipal wants to procure leather bags for use in the different executive development programs. The total value of procurement is 100 crores. Interested parties may see website so and so. That is an e-advertisement. But as I said, it's only one of the components. Now we developed a model which had not only e-tendering, but it had e-indenting. First of all, I must tell you that I require XYZ of goods, works or services. I also require to ensure that once the product is supplied, does it meet the requirement, does it meet the parameters it is supposed to satisfy? Subsequently, I also would like to know, over a period of time, if there have been 10 supplies of leather bags or whatever commodity that you have in mind, what has been the track record of a supplier and contractor? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it not so good or not so bad? What is the track record of the supplier? Has he or she supplied the right quantity and the required quality, and so on and so forth? So you need something called catalog management. When you deal with works, you want to construct a 10-kilometer road or a 10-kilometer wide bridge or a national highway, it's over a period of time, so you procure as a service. So you need a project management. Now, in addition to project management, so what I mean to say is e-procurement goes much beyond e-tendering. And what we developed in the state is the first e-procurement model in the country, which, as I said, has today received practically accolades from all over the world. June 28, 2012, we made a presentation to World Bank in Washington, because Washington wanted to make this e-procurement model mandatory for all World Bank funded projects, not in Karnataka, but in India. They said, that's the kind of integrity and transparency that the model had. So it had a number of modules built into it. It had e-tendering, it had a project management module, a catalog management module, a module to touch on the quality and so on and so forth. This has been the impact of e-procurement. Now, take the PWD is one of the largest departments in the country, in every state, including the Central Public Works Department in Government of India. Now, this is only an example. What did e-procurement do to every stakeholder? When I say every stakeholder, the state is a procurer, you are a contractor. Has it helped you? Has it helped the government? Has it helped the customers? Has it helped everybody in achieving the stated objectives? Now, just look at PWD. The total number of tenders floated using the e-procurement model, 2008, 9, 10, 10, 11. We have the figures for 11, 12 also, but they were being audited, so I didn't incorporate them. Number of tenders, 2180. Value of tenders, 1865.02 crores. Now, average bidder price, this is very important. Look at it. Now, before e-tendering was introduced, the number of persons who made an offer on the basis of an advertisement was just 1.66, which increased to 7.02. Okay, why? In a manual tender, what happens is, suppose there's an advertisement which says, I want to buy 155 systems of desktops or laptops or iPads or iPhones. Now, I talk to you and tell you, please don't bid for this tender. Let me bid for this tender. Next tender you take, I will not bid for the next tender. There used to be a cartelization of suppliers and contractors. Now, in e-tendering and e-procurement, what happens is, see, I could be sitting in Timbuktu, I could be sitting in Johannesburg, I could be sitting in Mauritius, I can apply for it. Because everything is e-enabled. So, the number of persons who applied for a tender increased from 1.66, mind you, it's over a period of 2 years, 7.02. Tender premium is, suppose the estimate is 100 rupees. I used to get before e-procurement at 119 rupees 0.49. It increased to 111.76. And lastly, during the last financial year, to 105.30. So the tender premium came down. Now, tender cycle time, how much time you take to procure a particular article? That is tender cycle time. For one particular work or a good or a service, if you took 117 days to procure, because of e-procurement, it came down to 59 days. Now, everyone is at an advantage. See, the state is happy because the tender premium has come down. The contractors are happy, number of contractors bidding for a contract has increased. Now, the users, the citizens are happy because of two reasons. See, before e-procurement, 99% of the suppliers in Karnataka, they were from within the state. Suppose I want to build a bridge, I want to build a highway, I want to build a series of houses, everybody used to be from within the state. Now, post the e-procurement, after 3 years' time, 67% of the suppliers from within the state. 30% of the suppliers were from outside the state. So you could procure the best of breed solutions, the best of breed services from all over the country. And 3% of the suppliers were from outside India. In fact, we got offers from Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand, and Latin American countries for the tenders that we floated through the e-procurement platform. So it's a win-win situation. Now, I just give you the example of capability, but the experience is similar with regard to other departments also. Irrigation department, you see a similar thing. BBMP is a city corporation in Bangalore, Brihat, Bangalore Mahanagarpalika. Similarly, tender premium, it was minus 4.79%. It increased to minus 10%. That means, if you say, I am prepared to procure goods worth 100 rupees, somebody came and said, I am prepared to supply it at 90 rupees. So that's why it shows minus. So that has been the experience of e-procurement across the different departments. Now, today it has been made mandatory. Every year, there is a competition which is organized among all the countries in Asia. Which country has developed the best, e-governance module, which has had the largest impact societally, which has had the largest impact in terms of its distribution of the positive aspects of a particular initiative. This got award. We were selected as finalists. And the three countries which were a part of it, part of the finalists were one initiative from South Korea, one initiative from Japan, and the third initiative from Karnataka. And just about 5 weeks ago, we got the first prize. Now, what I mean to say is that this was one initiative which was a win-win situation for everybody. Now, I'll very quickly go over to the next initiative, which I personally thought the option for failure was zero, and it was a miserable failure. And why I want to share that experience with you is that you have been a part of that community some time ago in a very big way, and during this course, as a part of it. I'll just give you that example. I will not name that college. We have one of the most important avenues for any budding student these days. They have only two options, That's what they think. Either they go to an engineering course or they will go to a course in medicine. Now, we know that, especially in medicine, things are not going very well. I am not to be quoted, but things are not going very well. You know what happened to MCI, Medical Council of India, about 2 years ago. Things are now taking some shape, but not to the levels at which you and I expect. 3 years ago, I started a small initiative which I thought, again, win-win situation for every stakeholder. I selected a medical college, a very well-known medical college in India, located in Karnataka. Now, the first thing is, once you admit your brother, your sister, your daughter, your son to a particular medical college, you would like to know whether he or she is attending the classes regularly. 1. 2. Whether the professors are coming on time, or over which you have no hope whatsoever. Now, number 3, how is your brother, your sister, your son or daughter is performing in the weekly, the monthly, the exams and tests which go on periodically. Whether he or she is paying the fee regularly which you are limiting, which you are getting from your parents, which you are getting from your brothers and sisters, sitting in different states in the state, because states in the country. Now, are the fee being paid? Are the library books being used? Now, keeping a track of all these things for parents who are outside the college, outside the city where the college is located, has been a very big challenge. So we introduced a system wherein the classes start at 9 o'clock, and we know what happens normally in every field, but equally so in the medicine field. The professors come at 9:15, the class is supposed to start at 9 o'clock, they come at 9, 9:15, 9:20, 9:30. It's a 1-hour class, then they take attendance, and then even they give attendance even to those students who don't come to the class at all, because there is a consultation involved. In the internals, I scored 50 out of 50. Okay? Because there are 8 to 9 internal examinations and lab works in medicine in the first semester. I get 49 out of 50 out of 50 or 50 out of 50. When it comes to the university